Hi, I'm Beryl Benbow, and I'd like to welcome you to my show, Verve. I'm here today to interview Ashanti Baptiste. Ashanti is also known as Pat-Riot, the Rebel, the Renegade of Brooklyn, New York. Ashanti, please tell me the genre of the music that you perform.
I would describe it as hip-hop, rap. I just call it music, but it's gritty, it's dark, it's beautiful, it's all types of different emotions, what's going on in the world, conscious, political, street, just everything just mixed in one big pot of gumbo.
Okay. And what is your stage name and its meaning?
My stage name is the Rebel Pat-Riot. The meaning is basically patriot. It's one word in half, and it's patriot. I feel like I love my country. I love my peoples. I love the human race. But I feel like I'm a patriot for the urban cities. I feel like I'm a patriot for the voices. I'm a patriot for our people that's struggling and going through poverty. And when you cut it in half with the Pat-Riot, you get both sides of that balance of good and bad. As far as the word pat, it'd be like showing comfort and, helping someone, patting them on their back, giving them, what you would say, more of a push to go forward in a positive, productive way. And then you would bring the riot in and say that's more that, ugh. You look at Baltimore, you look at police killings, you look at how we treat each other, you look at not having money, not being able to do anything in life, and that frustration, and that's where that riot comes in. And you just add that all in one, you get Pat-Riot, that one big,
Yeah, I was going to ask you, actually, was it a coincidence that when you put your stage name together, that it does become the word patriot? I'm glad you gave us that insight.
Yeah, I actually was going to go with that name, the Patriot, and it's just so many copyrights of that word that I was just like, let's just do something different and unique. So I went with the Pat-Riot. Even though every time I say it to somebody, they actually always says Pat Riley. That's the basketball coach.
Yeah.
Pat-Riot.
Yeah, no, not me. I caught it right away.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
And I thought that it was a very creative way of giving meaning to your name for your work.
Right.
So who were your music influences while you were growing up?
I grew up in a big house in Bushwick where I had older cousins, and I would say no lie, the first musician, artist that ever caught my attention was Michael Jackson.
Of course.
80s, MTV and VH1 was the only channels that gave music back in those days. And after Michael, it was Prince, Rod Stewart, U2, Madonna, Cyndi Lauper, Pat Benatar. It was just so many, a mixture. It wasn't just black artists, it was white artists. It was mostly white artists back then in the 80s music. And then as time went by, Run DMC came out with a song with Aerosmith, Walk This Way. And I remember my older cousins coming in the house with the Adidas and the black leather bombers and the Kango hats. And I thought that was just so cool. Like, oh, they look like the rappers. And that street persona came about, and that introduced me to hip-hop. Beastie Boys, LL Cool J, everybody Rakim. I had an older brother that started listening to KRS One, and I just was in the house soaking in all that. But I would totally say right now hip-hop is the influence, but pop music in the 80s is, I listen, that's in my phone right now. Like when I want to get in a good mood, I put on 80s music, and it just gives me so much inspiration.
I hear you. Well, since I'm a 60s generation person, and I grew up with Motown and people out of that group.
Right.
I'd like to know if you've ever written any love lyrics or love songs.
It's crazy. A friend of mine said I need to get more personal, more deep with my music. I have done a song personally with love. I never recorded it. I'm planning on doing a couple of those because that's parts of life, and as an artist you have to express that.
Well, I'll be very interested to hearing that one.
Oh yeah. I had one from breaking up with my prior girlfriend when I moved to Miami, and it had a song that it went down that line, but I didn't really have the right music, the right beat for it, so I never like focused on it. But I have some things, and I'm working on some new ones too. Definitely.
What would be your dream collaboration with any rapper or producer?
Producer would probably be. Does it have to be one?
It could be two.
I would probably say Kanye West would be one producer that I would want to work with. He's very, very intelligent with his music. Another one, I'm not sure. I know Kanye is a main artist I would want to work with production wise.
Right.
Music, that's hard. It's a lot of different artists, like Nas, Eminem, Outkast. It's just, but if I had to choose one, I don't know. That'd be hard.
Okay.
That'd be hard.
Who do you listen to the most in today's music?
I really don't listen to. I mean, I do listen to hip hop. I don't listen to as much as today's music because it's just so, not how I grew up, not the, cloth that I was ripped from. It's more ignorant, more dumbed down now. But I like J. Cole, I like Kendrick Lamar. Drake is a good artist. He makes great music. There's Big Crit. He's an artist from the South. He's very, very good. New Fiasco. Then you have the Eminems, the Nas, the Jay-Z's, the 50 Cents. I'm more old school. I'll probably still kick it with my old rappers and listen to the old music. But I still adapt to today's. I don't try to listen too much because then you start sounding like today's music, and I don't want that. So I take tabs and little dabs and back away, and But yeah.
Well, if you could compare yourself to an already established artist, who would that be and why?
A lot of people would say I'm like Nas. They compare me to Nas, I guess, because the conscious but still street and the humble. I get that a lot. That's the main artist I get it from. I don't want to say Tupac because then people are like, that's big shoes you have to fill. But I have songs that people was like, yo, you remind me of Tupac because you're passionate about what you say when it comes to your lyrics and how your music, inspires other people. So,
Well, what do you think your listeners will get out of your music?
So much. You're going to learn something. They might not like everything they hear. I might step on a few people's toes. I try not to, but truth hurts, and it's just reality music. I don't want to dumb nothing down. I don't want the youth to take something from me and not understand it. So I try to be specific with the music that I do. If it's a song and it has a concept, I try to be so detailed with it that where it's catchy, but they understand what I'm saying. But definitely gonna get something from me like, oh, I didn't know that, or oh, that's the truth. Or music today is just about popping bottles, dinner with girls, showing how much money you have, and just jumping up and down like you don't have no sense. And it's it sounds cool, but when your 5-year-old, 6-year-old child is running around saying it, and you look at it like they're not supposed to be coming up with that. It's the reason why the youth is where they are today. I don't blame it all on hip hop, but hip hop does play a big part in how our community reacts and how our kids come up. And,
sure it does.
And I don't want that. I want to be that positive, productive role, but still tell them I came from where you came from. I come from the streets. I've done things. I'm not perfect, but you can always grow and always learn what you're doing and do better.
Yes, messages in music can have a profound effect.
Definitely. On
the people who are listening to it.
Definitely.
You have a song named Dreaming?
Yes.
What were you thinking about when this song was developed?
That's crazy. That beat is that beat was done by Inner Days Productions, which is fellas from Miami, Florida, when I was living in Florida. And I was going through some real situations at that time living in Florida when they was making the beats. Because actually my ex-girlfriend's brother, him and his friend works on that. So when that beat was played at that time, and Martin Luther King's verse came on saying, I had just him and that verse constantly being repeated. It was like, it was like wow. And I let it soak in, and I tell you not, it took me about 4 months to really write that verse because I didn't want to just jump into it. When I moved back to New York, it just hit me, and I had to take what was being said on that hook with Martin Luther King having a dream, and speak on if he had a dream, and if my dreams, and a lot of people that have productive dreams of wanting to progress in life, what would it be? And it just flew out. Like, it was no planning. It just, whatever came to my mind, and just and put it on that pad and let that pen work its magic.
Well, I'd like to get a copy of that, so perhaps I can put it on this program at the end.
No problem.
All right.
No problem.
What made you want to get into the music business?
You know, you young. You know, I mean, like I said, since I could remember being 9 years old, Michael Jackson installed, I think, in every child wanting to be a performer. You know, I could remember every day watching Thriller video and me and my little cousins reenacting the whole video from beginning to end. So that was the spark or the seed that was planted in wanting to be a professional, or I would just say just entertainer in general. You know, seeing the crowd react off of what you create and loving it, that was a great feeling. As I got older, I wasn't really into music as far as wanting to become a rapper. And a good friend of mine that was killed, he always told me, like, Shanti, you need to rap, you good. And when he died, you know, I was already into the music business, but I took it more serious. And I noticed that I'm more involved with my community. I'm more involved with the youth. I speak to them a lot when I'm in the neighborhood. They look up to me, and just in general, I want to be a part of seeing our people in our community, you know, rise to a better place. And
what community are you talking about?
Fort Greene, downtown Brooklyn.
Okay.
The #1 place in Brooklyn in New York right now, and they're trying to change it. It's actually being changed already. But music is that weapon, I would say, weapon that catches everybody's attention. And once you could do that, and you have the people's attention, and you have a message with it, and your influence, is just so much power that comes with that you can actually play a part in changing the world. I mean, look at all the great artists that's doing it and have done it. You know, I just finished watching James Brown movie, and that movie is a very well movie with breaking down his storyline of how he touched people, even during the time when Martin Luther King got killed, and how he controlled the people in the crowd that almost rioted. Like, music has that effect. It can either start a riot, or it can control the people, and it's just powerful. And that made me want to say, you know, I want to be a performer. I want to entertain. I want the people to hear what I'm saying. It's the only way that we could go about. I think music is the most powerfulest form in this world. It's universal. You don't have to know. I just came back from Dominican Republic, and they don't speak no English out there, but they know your music. They speak English within your music, and they know what you're saying. It's just weird. Like, you know, you go to Africa, you hear the drums, and you move, and you know, you look at babies. Babies can't talk, but when they hear music, their bodies just move. It's just a powerful thing. You can't deny it.
I agree. What is the most difficult thing you've had to endure in life and in the music industry?
In the music industry, in today's music industry, is very hard to get in it, and at the same time, it's easy. And that's a real icky situation to say that, but you know, it's easy because now you could just work in your home with a computer and a video and go on YouTube and just promote yourself. But it's harder also because this generation is just so much focused on materialistic things. They rather see what you have before hear what you say. And with that said, it's like this day and age, people don't really listen to what rappers say. They just see what they have, meaning more money. And not saying that's hard because I don't have money. I mean, I'm not no rich person, but you have to catch the attention of the crowd, of today's youth. You know, back in the 90s, you do a great song, a dope song, you put it on a tape, you put it out to the mixtapes, or you go to the record labels and you know, you get a spin or you give it to the DJ. Now it's like you have to know somebody, or you have to be popular in the streets. It's just so much more that comes with it. And as far as life, just surviving as a black man in America today, you know, working and being able to take care of yourself and your family and keeping your health right, and not walking out in the street and hoping you can make it home at night. You know, look how police are just murdering innocent men left and right and walking away with it. I mean, that's a scary feeling right now, you know, especially what just happened in Baltimore with that young man getting his spine snapped in half. Like, How can he explain that to his family and say he did that himself, you know? And God forbid if these officers get away with that, I mean, what do you think is going to happen after that? You know, it's just, you know, I feel like I'm ahead of my time. A lot of people tell me that, like, your music, because when you look at my name and you see what's going on, it's just like, it's a scary thing. You know, it's sad where we at in today's world as far as where we've gotten, but it's like we're still, when I say we, black people, it's like, you know, we could march, we could riot, but at the end of the day, it's like we still are in that same position.
Mm-hmm. Are there any questions that you were expecting that I didn't ask and want to know what your answer would be? No. I wasn't expecting anything major. No, but were you expecting me to ask you something that I didn't ask you?
Maybe what's taking me so long to get my music out there?
That's a good one. Well, do you have an answer to that?
I'm an honest man. Procrastination plays a small part. Finances play another part. And me personally, you know, because I bust my ass with the money I make to put it into my music, but it's just so much you have to do in today's time of where the music business is at. I would say the main thing is support, a supportive team, you know, a supportive people, all productive, that's working as one conglomerate, one machine to get that music out there, you know. Because when you're actually doing it by yourself, it takes a little more time.
It takes a little bit more time if you do anything by yourself.
Exactly. And I'm not saying I don't have support, but as far as that machine, I'm working on building that right now, Royalty Renegades Enterprises, and that's the focus, like.
To put a group together.
Yeah, more of a, I won't say executive, but more of a staff that's
an entrepreneurial
right.
group. And
that's why I focused on it, where as an artist, yes, this is an artist, but now I had to take the artist hat off and put the businessman hat on.
And
focus on different artists and focus on the company where now everybody plays a part and we could all help each other. If you want this, I want this, and they want this, let's do this, that it'll help all of us at the same time. And that's where Royalty Renegades Enterprises coming in. That I get that all the time. I look at myself in the mirror and be like, what the hell are you doing wrong? But I know, like, I know. I'm
sometimes slow to the top.
Yeah, and when you get there, you see it was worth it. I feel like it wasn't my time yet because certain things happen, and I just see things happen. And I'm like, if I was there right now, what would I have done? And it probably would have been bad. It probably would have been the wrong time. You know? But this summer, Royalty Renegades, the Rebel Pat-Riot.
Do you write your own lyrics?
Of course.
Were you interested in writing poetry or writing when you were a child? When did your discovery of this talent come about?
Well, it's funny you asked that. I hated school. Hated school. But English class always had my attention. Social studies here and there, but English, I had no doubt. I rushed to English. And in high school, I had a writing class, and within my writing class, I always found a passion for writing. And I had a teacher in high school in Murray Bertram, Mr. Grimes. He was an older white fella. He always told me, he was like, you have a great way of expressing your words. And you know, back then, you know, you 17, 18, and you hear somebody give you that, but I didn't really take it as worth. But I always remembered that. But I just catch myself writing poems here and there, and in that high school, Murray Bertram's, where I had the friend that told me I should rap. He always was rapping. And hear, yo, Sean, you listen to this music? And I'd be like, oh, man. I wasn't used to, you know, hearing people write stuff, but he always did that. And I used to write poems. It just come to me on Mother's Day and Valentine's Day for my mother. You know, we didn't have the money, so I'd go get a piece of paper and fold it in half, draw on it, write a poem in there for her, and give it to her. And I think that's where it started from, really, with writing poems. And as I got older, I write poems. And I never wrote a poem for a girl. It was just always just whatever was on my mind, I wrote poems. And I still have old poems when I was young in my house. I guess when I become a celebrity, I put it out there. But that's what did it. And then after the friend died, you know, I just started writing more, took it more serious, and it just went that way, and here we are. I'm gifted with, I could write for days. It doesn't matter what it is. It don't even have to be music. I could just write stories. I could write, you know, anything that's going on. It's just.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing and seeing a lot more
definitely
of your work. You currently just finished a new single called 718.
Yes, yes.
Why did you entitle it 718?
Well, that's an ill story because I had just finished my project, my mixtape, Man vs. Machine. That was a mixtape that was like in the making for a long time. Like it was a great story behind that. But once that mixtape was done, I was focusing on moving forward and then focusing on another artist within our company. And a friend of mine, a producer, had that beat and he let me hear it, and it just brought me back to like the early 90s hip hop music, the sound, the quality to it. And I just thought about my favorite hip hop groups in the 90s, and I was like, holy shit. And I let it soak in. I'll take the music and I let it soak in my brain on the train, going home, going to work, coming back. I just listened to the beat, and one day, I just started writing to it. And the sound that it came out, it sounded like old New York music. You know, when you listen to New York music now, a lot of people say New York hip hop is dead. A lot of people say a lot of New York artists sound like the South or sound like what's big right now. And that sound just brought me back to like 95, 94. And it was just like, yo.
Well, 718 is a Brooklyn,
of course,
area code.
Of course.
Okay, I just wanted to point that out.
That's definitely like, that's a fact. But it had that New York sound, and I was just like, I'm from Brooklyn, of course, so it just had to go there. 718 is, I don't even know what made me name it that, but I would say it had that old, gritty, great sound of what New York music definitely sounded like when I was coming up loving hip hop. So 718 was the name that we gave it.
Well, you mentioned another CD that you just finished before 718. What was the title of that?
Oh, Man vs. Machine.
Okay, and what's the little story behind that?
Well, the story about that is when you asked me about the music and the time frame of getting your music out there, it's like me personally, I'm a picky guy. I'm different. I don't want to sound or do what a lot of other people do. And when you make music, you might like it, but a friend of yours might think, or you might put it out there, and the reaction you get is you get no reaction. People, it just doesn't feel them because it's not the sound that's right now. And I had to change. I used to do a lot of political music. I used to be a lot more conscious. And one day, my mother, which is who I got my consciousness from and my historical beliefs of our peoples and our history, told me, son, like, maybe you need to stop making music like that. Maybe you need to get more ignorant. And that coming from my mother was like, oh, like, seriously? Like, but I understood her. She was on a strategic level of you have to sell your music. You have to get the attention of, I don't want to say the whole force of ignorancy, but you have to get.
But you don't want to sell yourself out.
No, it's not selling yourself out. But this is where the Pat-Riot comes in. It comes in where I'm not perfect. There's a balance, and like I said, I've done things growing up that I can't sell. I can't put a teenager down for constantly doing what he did when I've done it. But when I was doing it, I may have had older guys kick it to me and tell me, yo, that's not the way you do it. That doesn't really happen nowadays in this time and age. You don't have that many older guys that's kicking it to the youth because you might have older guys that's doing the same thing they're doing, that they're following. So Man vs. Machine was more like, I have to make music that sound a little something like today, which is where the machine comes in. The machine plays the part of the industry, the system, the music. That's the power among us, those that control everything. That sound that's dumping out of the bases of radios and cars, like, what's on the radio is being controlled. What's on the radio is being told what to play, which is 99.9%.
That's what I was waiting to hear from you.
Right. That's the plan. Put that music out because it's poison. It's going to control the youth to do what they do. And when you look at that, it's like, well, it's a lot of positive music that sound good too, but it don't get played on the radio. And it's the reason why they don't want that to get played on the radio. So Man vs. Machine was more like sneaking the vitamin in the steak and then feeding it to the animals, So it was both parts. Me being the man, staying true to who I am, but still making music for the machine.
Okay. Well, I would like you to let us know where we could pick up either the single or the CD.
Okay.
And I'll also post it on the video.
Right, okay. Well, Man vs. Machine you can get on datpiff.com. And you just go to thatpiff.com and you type in the Rebel Pat-Riot, or you just type in Man vs. Machine, and it'll pop up. It's a blue cover with my face on it, half man, half robot. And 718 is not actually out yet. We're working on the video tomorrow, and it'll be on SoundCloud. The video will be on YouTube, and we'll just have it everywhere. Facebook, my Facebook fan page, the Rebel Pat-Riot.
Don't you have a website too?
Website, definitely. That's being worked on. That is therenegade.com, and you could catch that on there also. 718 will be, in the next week or two, it'll be on SoundCloud, and then further that, it'll be on iTunes.
Okay, so that is about the end of May.
Right.
Okay, great.
But Man vs. Machine, you can go right now on thatpiff.com, which is DATPIFF.com, and you can just load in Man vs. Machine and it'll pop up, download it, and hear that good music.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I enjoyed the interview.
Thank you.
And I hope to be able to speak to you again soon.
Definitely.
And also check out your music.
Definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
Ciao.
System. Systematically set to desensitize your senses, senseless activity surrounds your society, simultaneously making you love me while shaking in your boots. And for those who dare to overthrow me, allow me to remind thee, 'tis I who provides you with the land and seeds you use to grow your little grassroots. I am the system.
Epic shit right here, man. Yeah. Tired of what I'm seeing. Tired of this industry bullshit. These lames, man, getting this money, man. I'm not mad though. These niggas is lames, man. You clowns. It's what rap became, man. It's what rap is, man. Pat-Riot. Some old school for the new school. Is you ready? This epic shit right here, man. Black angels, man. Get 'em, Pat. Yeah, get 'em, Pat. Look who stepped up, fresh gear, fresh cut. Exclusive tackle with a bad bitch gripping her butt. Call me Mr. Riot, don't even try it. Or niggas dying, give 'em a workout and put 'em on a permanent diet. Too many loud mouths in this game, so who won, who's silence? Time to cut ass like welders cut glass with diamonds. This is strictly for my true hip-hoppers, 9-to-5ers, lifers. Niggas that always dream of owning tigers. Since a while back, I've been a wildcat running with riders. Now the game changed with tight jeans.